What animated film traumatized you as a child? We watched The Lion King in the second week of kindergarten, the week my dad died. That is probably one of the worst movies someone could have watched in that situation. Sorry about your dad. Only half animated, but the scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit where Christopher Lloyd gets run over by the steamroller edit. Wow, thanks for the love everyone. Glad I'm not alone on this one. And don't forget the cute animated shoe getting melted face first in acid. Pinocchio. The sheer chaos of that mess got to me. Then boys turned into donkeys and sobbed for their mother and I lost it. That and Dumbo. Early Disney was dark. The Land Before Time. Littlefoot's mom dying has instilled a fear in me. A fear born of the fact that one day, someday, my own mom will die. Watership Down. Ah, look at the talking bunnies, how cute. Why oh my fucking god, that's so much blood. You know the bit in Bambi where Bambi's mom gets shot in the face? What if we just did that for 90 solid minutes? Not a film, but Courage the Cowardly Dog had a lot of moments. A lot of moments. You mean Baby's first Lovecraft? Yeah, I'm convinced that and Billy and Mandy were basically just a gateway drug for a lot of kids to get into HPL lol. James and the Giant Peach. I associate it with the start of my perpetual existential dread LMAO. I hated the Cloud Bowl stampeding over James' parents scene. I was around 8, and besides the peach itself the movie just felt like a foggy limbo land. Coraline. Button Eyes traumatized the crap out of me. I sincerely believe Brave Little Toaster created a lot of hoarders. Can't believe no one has mentioned the terrifying, emotionally manipulative air conditioner that implodes. I was just thinking about how scary that scene is the other day. Still haunts me. Fox and the Hound, it still makes me cry if I watch it now. Why was the movie so dang depressing? The cover promises cute fox and puppy hijinks, instead delivers harsh realities about class differences, death, friendships fading, nature's cruelty, and is basically 100% a bummer. The Great Mouse Detective. The Bat gave me nightmares for a solid week. Spirited Away. The parents turning into pigs and No Face gave me nightmares for weeks. I was 5 when I first saw it. Nowadays it's one of my favorite movies though. My parents are huge Studio Ghibli fans, so I ended up watching Spirited Away when I was young and No Face scared the shit out of me. What's even worse is that they ended up watching Grave of the Fireflies with me when I was 7. All Dogs Go to Heaven. Watched it as an adult. That movie was dark. Drunken dog gets murdered by his business partner, kidnaps already kidnapped girl, forces her to help them get money by stealing and gambling, gets shot, with tomatoes in the background meant to look like blood, implied, baby mama, and, prostitute, frightening scene in hell. Yeah, that movie is awesome. Lee dark. The Secret of Neve. A movie called 9. I saw it in theaters when I was 9 years old and I still have nightmares about it to this day. Our 9 movie We Did It Boys. The first time I realized children could die was from the scene in Balto, where coffins are being built for the children who will die if the sled dogs don't bring the medicine in time. Holy crow, that scene was heavy but so appropriate to hammer home the urgency of the movie. Didn't traumatize me, but I knew it was special. The Brave Little Toaster edit. I had no idea so many people have seen this. To this day it feels like it escaped on accident, yet somehow my parents obtained a copy that isn't supposed to exist. Lol. I came here to say that. I am 32 and I legit still think of that movie whenever I vacuum. Monster House. Oh look, there's a uvula. Oh, so it's a girl house. The black smoke from Fern Gully always scared me. Tim Curry is a master. When Woody fell into the trash of broken toys and got dragged down. Last Unicorn. That damn harpy. The Red Bull scared the crap out of me. The Iron Giant. When the darker parts of the Iron Giant's lost personality come out, ogh. That startled me so much when I was a kid. Spirited Away. No Face scared the fuck out of me. This claymation show about Mark Twain and some kids. Can't remember what it was called. Creepy AF. Dark Crystal. Mid-40s female and I still can't watch it to this day. Can't get more than 10 minutes in and I've tried many times. Fuck those damn Muppets. Added. To the person who said it wasn't animated. It was animatronics. Which is way fucking worse. The Elephants on Parade segment from Dumbo. Shit's like a bad acid trip and my 6-year-old self was terrified of it. The music video for Pink Floyd, The Wall. The first time I saw animation used in a dark context. Bambi. They killed the mother, and they expect kids not to burst out in tears. Ever since my mom died I have a hard time watching like 90% of Disney movies since there's usually at least one dead parent edit. I've even got an evil stepmother. Disney's Black Cauldron. How the hell was that a kid's movie? Originally, the Cauldron-born added to their numbers by ripping the flesh off of the Horned King's minions. Disney cut that scene for some reason. Grave of the Fireflies. My god. Also one of the best movies I have ever seen. The best movie I never want to see again. There was this Care Bears cartoon movie with a young boy who was a magician. It was so scary lol. The Care Bears movie where they're at that summer camp is a bit disturbing as well. I still loved the shit out of it though. It was that one in the freeze machine one with Small Paul. We're back. Notably Professor Screw-Eye and the Circus. LOTR 1978 cartoon. Why is Aragorn not wearing any pants? Jan Vankmayer's Alice, which is a dark, surrealist stop-motion version of Alice in Wonderland and really not a children's movie at all. Still, a local TV channel decided to air it as that, so I watched that all alone on a Sunday morning and I've never fully recovered. Fantasia. Movie was like a horror film to my young eyes. I loved this movie as a kid but always turned it off before night on Bald Mountain. And usually fast-forwarded past the dinosaurs fighting each other to the death. Little Nemo. I've mostly blocked it from my mind now but I have vague memories of a kid fleeing a shapeless black ooze as it consumes his home. This being after he released it, somehow. I've thought about rewatching it as an adult to see how it holds up. Edit. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one who experienced this particular trauma, thanks y'all for sharing. Also, I have apparently forgotten a lot of this movie cause y'all are referencing stuff that I do not remember one bit. I'm seriously considering giving it a watch soon now. This is the one I came here looking for. I saw almost all of the higher voted ones as a kid and while they're all creepy in their own way, nothing beats Nemo in Dreamland. I had nightmares for months after watching it. Dumbo. Moms aren't supposed to be taken away. Not as a child, but as an adult. My wife and I saw up about 2 weeks after we got married. The beginning got us bad. What a great way to start off a relationship by being reminded that one of you will die leaving the other behind in this cruel world. Watership down. That suffocation scene should never be viewed by any child. The Pagemaster. I was 4 and I still think about it. I have not thought about that movie in 20 years or so. Just seeing the title brought back a flood of memories and for that I thank you. The Pagemaster was watched in our house as much as the Goonies. The puppet scene in the Polar Express. I was heartbroken by the dog pound scenes in Lady and the Tramp. Refused to watch it. Fast forward to my little nephew, who was crying for days because he thought that the cats in the Aristocats wouldn't ever get back home. Age 5. Daddy, why are the bunnies bleeding? Age now. Wanna see my Watership Down tattoo? That the movie where the rabbits fight to the death? Ferngully and Fantasia, either one. It's all fun and games until snarky pollution blob Tim Curry turns into fuck-off nightmare tar skeleton Tim Curry, goddamn. The Brave Little Toaster. It's like Toy Story if they focused on the brutal reality of disposable objects rather than lighthearted silly fun. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. All good and happy until the child catcher shows up. Alice in Wonderland when the walrus ate the baby clams. The whole movie was weird. Bambi's mom dying, Dumbo getting made fun of and being taken away from his mom. Heffalumps and Woozles in Winnie the Pooh and Disney's Halloween Treat, which I really did like. Oh, and the Lion, the Witch in the Wardrobe, 1970s one, fucking scary. Pinocchio, the donkey scene, the coachman, Stormbully, and Monstro all gave me nightmares for days. One of Disney's darkest movies hands down. Mickey's Christmas Carol circa 1983. The Ghost of Christmas Future. And falling into a grave filled with fire. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Judge Doom taking that poor little shoe and putting him in the dip. As a child this upset and as an adult it still upsets me. Disney's Snow White. The huntsman's murder face, the freaky forest, the queen to hag transformation scene, the queen falling to her death at the end, and presumably also crushed by a boulder. In The Little Mermaid, Ursula has a collection of souls that she stole in tortures. Also the obligatory mention of our society's collective childhood trauma from Old Yeller and Homeward Bound. Spirited Away. My dad brought it home when I was around 7, thinking it was a fairy tale. I made it to Yubaba turning to a bird and then run away and refused to watch anymore. Also yes, I now have no face tattoo on my leg. Be sure and tell M. Large Marge sent ya. That claymation face used to get me hiding behind the couch. Toy Story. That scene when the toys do a head transplant. There was a nightmare sequence in a Winnie the Pooh about heffalumps and woozles that freaked me out when I was small, like 2 or 3. The Great Mouse Detective. The bad guy, Ratigan or something, straight up cartel executes a mouse using a cat. I found it horrifying. Dumbo. Oh, what, you mean you didn't enjoy Pink Elephants on Parade? What are you, some kind of normal person who doesn't like being awoken by elephant-centric nightmares for the better part of a week? Chicken Run freaked me out so badly. I've always hated claymation films. Plague Dogs. Saw a review of that movie, and even as a grown-ass adult I say, no to that. For me, it wasn't any particular movie, but it was in most, if not, all the Disney movies we had on DVD. That godforsaken THX logo is why I hadn't watched The Emperor's New Groove since only like a year or two ago. Speaking of which, I have this memory of watching Disney Channel and Toy Story 2 came on, with the THX logo showing up first. Is this an error? Did all airings of Toy Story 2 have this? LMFAO fucking THX. Anastasia. Anastasia is the dark voodoo hex magic that Princess and the Frog try to do. And it hit me right at that starting to read Dragons, Magic age. 10 out of 10 would recommend at a 10-year-old's Halloween party. Edit. This is not a Disney movie. It's not a Disney movie. It's directed by Don Bluth, an animator and director who left Disney in the late 70s because he disagreed with how the company was run and wanted to revive that sense of quality of Disney's earlier classics. He basically went head-to-head with them in the 1980s, and you could argue he came out on top until Disney's The Little Mermaid. His other movies include The Secret of NIMH, An American Tail, The Land Before Time and All Dogs Go to Heaven. The Rescuers. Rockadoodle. The whole thing is terrifying. The owls, the storm, the kid being turned into a cat. I watched it again a couple of years ago and it still gives adult me the willies. 9. That movie is still my favorite animated film, but the thought of AI one day rendering humans useless and killing all of them scared my undeveloped brain. I recently watched it again and realized how dark it was. The humans in the film had to create a machine that would suck their own soul and put it into a ragdoll just so they could survive. Even though at the end, 9 and his friends survived, there was no one else. It was just them in a dark and lonely war-torn Earth. All there was just ruined buildings, machines that could rip you apart and poisonous gas that still lingered on. Makes you wonder why humans want to create a super smart AI. The Rescuers. Yes, I'm that old. Kidnapped little girl guarded by a crocodile, and a horrific-looking old lady villain. This thread has made me discover that movies I thought were made in the 90s were actually made in the 70s because I grew up with them. Treasure Planet, when a character fell into the black hole. My brother was a huge astronomy nerd, still is, and explained that black holes tear you apart by the atoms. And that if a black hole appeared near our galaxy or whatever, we would be done. Treasure Planet is amazing, but that part was like WTF. Rip Mr. Arrow, who got shredded and reduced to atoms. The Rats of Neve. Shudder. The Secret of Neve. Watership Down. Child me thought it would be like Redwall. I loved that series. And I loved the hares. It was very much not like Redwall. James and the Giant Peach. Sad face. Heavy Metal. But then I got older and watched it while stoned, and thought it was pretty cool. I always thought that was kinda the point of that movie, to watch it while stoned. The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Ejected it when they started throwing fruit and hid it behind a bookcase to never be seen again. Lol. I did eventually watch and love it as a teenager when I got really into musicals. Animal Farm gives me nightmares to this day. Little Nemo. Adventures in Slumberland. I was looking for this answer. Little Nemo terrified me as a child. What scared me most was the king getting consumed by the black nightmare goo and the boomps. Transformers the movie, the beginning where Unicron ate that planet and Optimus Prime's death. And Megatron's massacre? Optimus losing his shit, running all the Deceptions over in truck form, and then gunning down anyone he missed. Those creepy little dudes in Ursula's place. The souls. Yes. Those poor, unfortunate souls. Bambi sad face. Not a film, but Gumby freaked me out. Almost all the Don Bluth films. Absolutely loved them, still do, but they were scary as F to me as a kid. Don Bluth was a genius who knew you could treat children with respect and you could trust them to be able to understand difficult concepts. You wouldn't see that level of professional excellence until a decade later in 1992 with Batman, the animated series. The Land Before Time. My mum rented it for me and it scared the shit out of me for some reason, haven't seen it since. When I was probably 6 or 7, the local video store misplaced a hentai movie in the kids animated section. The cover looked cool because there were like guns and tanks or some shit on it. My mom didn't check that it was okay, so we just rented. I got it home and man oh man was I so scared I was going to get in trouble. I told my mom and she just took it away. I was super upset for a while about it. My family is very religious, so naturally I thought God hated me for a solid month. Needless to say, I am now a full-fledged pervert. Thanks family video. Princess Mononoke. Akoto turning into a demon haunts my dreams still. A troll in Central Park always made depressed for weeks after watching it. I had to _scroll _ for this one. Really hurt my little bullied 8-year-old feelings. Ricky Tikki Tavi. I just remember being afraid of the snakes and the vibe of the film.
Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.